What if you could hear everyone's thoughts for 24 hours? At first, it was like unlocking a new sense. A secret layer to the world. A superpower. Walking down the street, I could see the city's hidden soundtrack. A woman walking her dog, worrying if she locked the front door. A student on a bench, daydreaming about a summer vacation. The thoughts were like little melodies, soft whispers of human life, playing out in a grand, silent symphony. It was beautiful. Every smile was accompanied by a warm, glowing thought. Compliments were genuine. A little spark of kindness you could actually see and hear. "I love her shoes," one thought hummed. "He has a really nice smile." Another drifted by. It felt like I'd been given the key to true connection. A way to see the goodness in everyone, unfiltered and pure. I felt closer to people than ever before, like I was part of a secret, shared consciousness, a world where everyone's inner voice was kind. But superpowers, I learned, always have a catch. The melodies started to sour. The symphony turned into a cacophony of noise. That friendly smile from a coworker. It hit a spike of envy. Why does he always get the easy projects? It's not fair. The casual chat with a neighbor, underneath the pleasantries, was a current of harsh judgment. He really needs to mow his lawn. What a mess. The whispers weren't just whispers anymore. They were daggers. The world I thought was full of hidden kindness was actually a minefield of unspoken resentment, jealousy, and insecurity. The gap between what people said and what they truly thought was a terrifying chasm. Every person I passed became a source of anxiety. Their faces were just masks, hiding a swirling chaos of dark, critical thoughts that clawed at me from every direction. It became a storm. The voices started to overlap, a relentless, crushing wave of sound. Walking through a crowd was like standing in the middle of a psychic hurricane. I couldn't distinguish one thought from another. It was just a roar of negativity, a deafening static of human misery. I hate my job. She's looking at me. I'm so tired. Am I a failure? The faces around me began to flicker and distort, their features glitching with the intensity of their inner turmoil. The air crackled with a tension only I could feel. I'd press my hands to my ears, a futile gesture against a noise that was coming from inside my own head. My heart would pound in my chest, my breath catching in my throat. I just wanted it to stop. The constant barrage of unfiltered human consciousness was tearing me apart, shredding my sanity piece by piece. I was drowning, and there was no way to come up for air. The city wasn't a symphony anymore. It was a war zone, and I was the only casualty. And then, amidst the chaos, a moment of peace. A little girl sitting on a park swing, her mom pushing her gently. I braced myself for the noise, but all I heard was a simple, pure thought from the child. "Hi, I want to touch the sky." It was so clear, so innocent. A tiny, perfect note of music in the middle of the noise. For a second, I could breathe again. The world felt simple. Then I looked at the mother. The smile on her face was real, but her mind was a tempest. Worry about bills, frustration with her partner, fear about the future, a deep, aching exhaustion. The contrast was staggering. The child's mind was a clear, calm pond. The adult's was a raging, murky ocean. It was a brutal reminder that innocence is fleeting, that life fills our minds with so much baggage, so much noise. That quiet, beautiful pond eventually becomes the storm. And I was hearing every single drop of rain, every clap of thunder, from every storm, all at once. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, it ended. The 24 hours were up. Silence. The most profound, beautiful silence I have ever known. The world was quiet again. The voices were gone. The city was just a city, and people were just people. I stumbled back to my apartment, my ears ringing from the phantom noise. I was exhausted, hollowed out. I stood in front of the mirror, looking at my own reflection. My face was pale, my eyes wide with a new, terrible understanding. And then, in the perfect silence, I heard one last thought. A single, solitary whisper. It was quiet, but it was clear. And it was mine. I'll never be able to look at anyone the same way again. The superpower wasn't a gift. It was a curse. It showed me a truth I could never unsee, a noise I could never unhear. And in that final, crushing moment of self-awareness, I realized the most terrifying thoughts weren't the ones coming from strangers. They were the ones that echoed in the quiet of my own mind.